Making little changes work because they are powerful enough to bring the compound benefit of big results without pushing us too much far out of our comfort zone, because they set the bar low. And doing something that will change your life doesn't always mean sweating the heck out of it or overhauling everything. Sometimes it simply means bringing those things into focus that we are already doing so that we are more consistent, more intentional about them. Let's start with the simplest one first. It is to do absolutely nothing, like daydreaming, staring into space, nothing. And the way it works is when we give our brain a break, do nothing that requires processing any kind of information, the DMN or default mode network in our brain kicks in, and it is closely linked with memory and creativity, coming up with creative solutions to our problems. And as psychologist Dr. Scott B says, when you take breaks, you can solve problems in fresher ways than you could if you just kept your nose to the grindstone. Our brains are like any machine. They need rest. Many studies have found that when we take multiple short breaks throughout the day, we are better able to focus on the tasks in hand. It boosts our productivity and can even improve our mood. Sitting in front of the TV or scrolling on the phone doesn't count as a break. If sitting still without anything to fidget feels uncomfortable, get some fresh air. Go out in nature if possible. If not, do something that will require the least amount of thinking. Anything mindless that requires the least amount of thinking, like fold the laundry or take a slow long bath. Before going to the next one that helps us create a more no regrets life, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Nandita, and I'm on a journey to have a bigger say in how things look in my life. And if that's something you too would like in, then this channel is for you. One of the biggest things that will change our life, make it a more satisfying one, is minimizing the number of regrets we collect over time. Sometimes they are the things that just skipped our mind. And even though we might not realize it, unfinished tasks take away from how much we can focus on the things we are supposed to be doing. It's called the Zeigarnik effect. Our mind's tendency to forget the things that we have finished and stay fixated on the unfinished ones, because our brain simply doesn't like open loops. And as we have only a very limited amount of attention to spend at any given time, it distracts us from the tasks that we need to do. And interestingly, what a psychological study done at Florida State University found is that the solution is simply to make a to-do list. The simple act of planning when and how to do something completes the loop in our brain and frees up our attention. But if you're a list person, you would know there's more to it. They not only help us stay organized and know that everything's covered, reducing stress in our life, but reviewing last week's or last month's to-do list, we can also get a clear understanding of where our priorities lie or which parts are getting neglected. One of the hard-hitting things that I have realized over the last year and a half is that the biggest regrets in our life are not the things that we haven't been able to accomplish or acquire, but it's the time that we miss spending with the people we care. And even though at this very moment it might feel not very productive or feel like something that can very well be shifted to tomorrow, it's one of the things that will prevent a lot of heartache in our life and should definitely feature regularly in the things that we must do. No matter how much we want, we can't go back in time and do things differently, but we surely can start doing them right from this moment on. Now, we all have only limited time and energy to spend in a day. And to make sure that it's enough for the things we really value, the things that will change your life, we need to remove all the clutter. Identify all those things that are no longer working, like goals or connections we have outgrown, or situations that are distracting us in a direction we have no wish of going. Anything that's cluttering up our life, because that creates unnecessary stress, taking away from the time that we could have spent enjoying life, actually having a life outside our duties, responsibilities, and deadlines. Everyone's life situation is unique, so you would know what would best work for you. But a few things that work universally are to ask why every time. Asking why is important because it not only clarifies whether saying yes or no to something, committing to something, would fit in with what we want from our life. But it also helps us finish the things we begin, because when we are convinced of the value of something in our life, it becomes easier to come up with creative solutions to problems and stay motivated to see the thing through. If you're finding this useful, like this video to make it easier for it to reach other people who might also find it useful. Appreciate that. Now, it's not easy to come up with a clear answer to the why to everything in life. Like, we may not like our job and it's tough to say convincingly most days how it's adding any value. But maybe it gives us the financial freedom to do what we really want, like travel to new places or study and upskill for that dream job. And that gives us our answer to the why, the answer that keeps us showing up and staying focused even on low motivation days. And when we focus deeply on what we are doing, not only do things get completed more quickly and efficiently, but we also enjoy the process. In a sense, the whole thing gets upscaled. Like Bruce Lee said, the successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus. One technique that has been proven to improve our focus and reduce those attentional blinks that escalate with time sounds a bit like meditation, but really isn't, and is a lot easier to practice. Now, if the word meditation puts you off, like that's not really my thing, then think of it as a quiet time that will activate your creative thinking, your default mode network in the brain that we talked about earlier. This technique was mentioned in the book Altered Traits by psychology and psychiatry professor Dr. Richard Davidson. What you essentially do is sit still, eyes shut for 15 minutes. Focusing on the breath and on how the body feels in that moment, gently bringing our attention back to the breath every time it gets distracted by your thought. A good idea would be to begin with a 5-minute limit and keep practicing on that. And when it starts feeling more comfortable, amp it up gradually till you reach 17 minutes. Mini steps, goal stacking. Now we come to the question that will change your life today as well as tomorrow and 6 months on and beyond. It's asking every time, how can I do this 1% better? Because even though it might not sound or feel very big, the compound interest, all the mini results compiled together amount to significant results. Simple things like having water first thing in the morning to better manage our weight, or opening up the blinds in the morning and letting the light in so that our body's natural rhythm keeps working properly for good sleep, digestion and metabolism. These small little things have a big impact on how we feel, our mood and our productivity. Everything, no matter how perfect they seem right now, can be done 1% better. Like maybe work on becoming a better listener. It will amp up our relationships and efficacy at work. Or if, like most of us, you can't stop worrying about the things in and out of our control, then 1% better would be doing the next best thing, making worry work for us. I did a couple of videos about this a while back, which I will link over here and here if you would like to know more. But the basic idea is to make doing the things that will change your life, that will make it more meaningful and satisfying, become a natural part of what you do every day. I hope you found this video helpful. You take care and I'll see you soon.